y'all, I am back with All the Queen's Men season 3, episode 7. Now, it did kind of start off the way that I thought it would start off. Dime is a trip, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I expected it to turn out very similar to that, but not as quickly as it did. Imp was like, "Who you talking to?" And Mr. New Orleans was like, "Nobody." And Imp was like, "It doesn't look like that." And Dime heard them arguing outside, and then she ran outside. And all of it happened like really, really quick. And they started fighting, and Dime jumped on Imp's back, and something fell, but I didn't see what fell. And then I also didn't see Dime pick up anything. If you haven't seen it yet, there will probably be a lot of spoilers in here, so make sure you go watch it first if you're not like me, who can watch a bunch of spoilers and still go want to see how it all unfolded. When she jumped on his back, he threw her off. She got up and ran over to the trunk trying to get something out of it and open it, and that's when she saw Casanova body all up and through there. And she hopped her tail. She ran off and hopped her tail in Imp's car. And I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute, because I know she didn't drive over there. And then I was like, I know she didn't just jump in Imp's car and leave him out there. And she had that man car all day and he had to find his way to the club. But anyway, so I'm assuming that that was what had failed, and before she went to the trunk, she might have picked up the keys. I don't know, because if not, like, Imp, why are you leaving the keys in your trunk over there or anywhere, and you done got out this car? And everybody who said that Imp had a tracker on Dime, y'all was right, y'all. I didn't even think about that until somebody said it in the comments of my last video, but he definitely did. So Tommy had the tracker on Mr. New Orleans, and then Imp had the tracker on Dime. Now, me and my sister, we were trying to figure out, when Tommy had told Blue about Mr. New Orleans going to the swamp, did he say yes he did because he had the tracker on there? Because he told her, I got a tracker on him. So we was like, did he say that because he knew he would be able to see it? If he did, or did he actually already saw that he went to the swamp? This episode answered the question. He did not know. Tommy went all night not knowing that Mr. New Orleans never went to the swamp. So Madams knew, the head of the security that she hired, he was definitely right about Tommy. Tommy is slipping. There's no way you let somebody take a body and you don't know that they never went to the swamp that same night. Me and my sister really didn't know what to think exactly happened, because sometimes they time lapse. So we didn't know if the body was taken before he went and got Dime, or if he went over there to the swamp with Dime but never got out, because of course if he went with her, he wouldn't have took the body out. He would have just kind of just went and swooped by there and then left to make Tommy think that he went, if he did go. And I would think anyway, I don't know why he would be shocked that they was tracking him anyway, because if they would have you kill a policeman, you don't think that they will have somebody tracking you, or maybe have somebody following you, or whatever the case may be, to make sure that you did what you were supposed to be doing. So I don't know why he was like, oh my God, they have someone tracking me. Detective Davis done got caught up. We already knew that Madam was going to know about it, because that was their plan anyway. I don't know if everybody caught it, but that was their plan, to get her to sleep with him, to compromise the case and the integrity of her investigating the case. Madam went over there. She acting like, well, before Madam got over there, she realized she was in his bed. She's acting like she was like so drunk that she don't know what happened. First of all, girl, you was not drunk when you started. Second of all, I don't think she was that drunk anyway, because it was more so like, you know how you wake up and you're not really conscious and you're looking around, and then it's like a shock value. You're like, oh my God, oh, okay, now you're realizing where you're at. I think that was more so what was going on. Because if you ask me, she was knocked out of that, oh my God, I'm so dizzy, I don't know where I'm at, and whoop whoop whoop, to, did you use condoms? She was knocked out of that real quick to ask about them condoms. Even though I don't like Detective Davis, I am glad that she did have, the recording in the interrogation room. I'm assuming that's what it was. When Danny's husband came over there to talk to the DA, because the DA was petty, and I'm glad she heard what she said. And this explains why she wanted to be on Madam's side. Now, I know the Imp's behavior is still kind of like all out the way, but he did, for the second episode, deal with Dime in a lesser aggressive way, even though you can tell that he's still hostile about what happened. He's still holding on to that, because when he talked to Madam, he brought it up, and you can tell he was angry about it still. And Dime is still adamant about him being the one that slashed her tires. And I don't understand how, after he keeps saying that he did not do it, that she's not realizing that she's literally doing the same thing that got them in that situation in the first place. Also, Babyface, I wasn't going to talk about him, but Babyface, I never liked him anyway after what he did to Rayshawn. And him and Doc ended up getting in a fight, y'all, because he crossed the line talking about that man baby. And then I was like, well, God dog, how long has it been if that baby ain't buried by now? And then I can't wait till Madam find out that Casanova is not dead, because she really went ahead and let Mr. New Orleans go ahead and get on that stage, and the job ain't done. He ain't proved nothing but that he's a traitor. That's all that he's proved. So in episode 6, Sandy went and talked to Madam concerning the club and keeping things under wraps about her and her husband having dealings with the club. In this episode, she went and found Rayshawn and wanted to talk to him about contracts, having him to sign contracts to kind of separate her and her husband from the club, and him and what they did to him. An old boy that he was living with, originally she offered him 25 and he was like 30. And then the old boy whose house he was at, he was like 125, which I love that for him and them. And he wanted Rayshawn to get 100K. Okay? So that's who you need to have around you. He deserved way more than that for what they did to him, but I guess that's good enough. And child, why did Trouble come up in the dressing room acting like she really did something and wanted a piece of the pie? She wasn't there to negotiate. Nothing happened to her, but she wanted a piece of the pie. But he said he'll give her $2,000. Now, if it was me and I wanted them off, I would take that money quick. I would sign that contract and kill both of them. Period, point blank. That's just what it is. Like, if I want you dead, you can pay me to kill you. That's what's gonna happen. So let's go ahead and jump to the end. Me and my sister was talking about who we thought Concierge was going to target. And I was trying to tell her that he probably not finna mess with Imp. And I'm not sure if I said it in another video. I don't know, child. I was supposed to be doing it and I think I erased it. I don't know if it made it in the video. But anyway. But we was talking about this and I was like, Imp, I don't think he's gonna touch, because especially if he already know that she already tried to kill Imp over some money. Because how important are you if you thinking that he stole something would have caused you to kill him, or you was willing to kill him? So I didn't think he was going to go after him, because especially if he knew about it, if, you know, she was already willing to kill him if the situation was right in her mind. Now, she do love Tommy and she loved Blue, but I also thought that Blue and Tommy was no more than like Imp to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she loved them. She cared for them. She would go hard for them. If something happened to them, she would hurt, but she would be willing to kill them if the situation was right. I didn't think that was the case with her daddy. And I was telling my sister, it's probably her daddy. And one of the things that my sister was saying was that her daddy know a lot. He got his ears to the ground. And I was saying that is true. He got his ears to the ground. But if they all know about each other, the concierge's wife, daddy, is as big as he is, then he probably got ears to the ground too. And he's probably a big tycoon just as big as the daddy was. And the daddy and concierge, if he is as slick as we think that he is, then the daddy probably wouldn't know anything about him being a target, because nobody in their right mind is going to be talking, letting it hit the ground to get back to the daddy. And honey, according to the end of the episode, I was right, because the targets look like it's the daddy. And I'm gonna tell you why. When she was talking to Davis, they got a phone call that looks like it was coming from the home that the daddy was in, right? But when she answered it, it was Concierge's brother. Now, this is a little twist now. Because you wouldn't think it would be him. You would think it would be Concierge, right? And I kind of thought it was him anyway at that time of night. I was like, something is off about that. But anyway, it was the brother talking to her, and he was basically mentioning how Concierge said, don't touch the wife. And he said, mentioned something, I forgot what it's called, but he was like, just the little thing that she used to kill the wife, or something like that, that he was over there playing with it for her daddy. But anyway, she was like, no, let's trade, let's talk. Trying to get him not to kill her daddy. She was like, you can take me. And he was like, nah, I want you and Blue. I want you in blue. And she was like, yeah, okay. Child, he was playing. He was playing because he was counting down. He was like, well, he wasn't counting down. He was like, the little thing, whatever it's called, sound like this. And you can hear a little explosion. So it seems like he was targeting the daddy. And that's where he was at, killing the daddy. And then the phone call coming from, I'm assuming it's the cell phone of either the nurse or the daddy in some type of way. You know, they made it do what it do to get the phone away from them to call her on that phone. So we're going to see. But so far, it's looking like I was right. It's looking like I was right. Because the daddy is the only one that would make sense when he said, I'm going to get somebody that you really care about. So, y'all, I don't really have any thoughts about what I think is going to happen in the next episode. But if you have any thoughts about it, let me know down in the comments. And also let me know what you thought about episode 7. And make sure y'all subscribe because I'm gonna try to do this every week. I'm not gonna promise it, but I'm gonna try to do it every week. I'm trying this as a new thing that I'm doing on my channel, and we're gonna see how it go. But anyway, again, let me know in the comments what you think about this episode and what you think is gonna happen in the next episode. All right, peace.